I believe if this village has any drunkard here, I believe they really have tough time crossing this kind of a bridge. This kind of bridge is really dangerous, and I'm even nervous to actually go about this because look at this. Only three trunks of trees laid and some few off-cuts put at this end, and I believe maybe there's someone that have really been taking the off-cuts from this bridge, and that's why it is the way it is. This must have been so dangerous, and I think now the government is waking up to remember the locals of this area so that they can have the better bridge they deserve. Slowly by slowly, I'm seeing materials are being gathered here. I believe the bridge will be built as soon as possible so that these locals can actually have peaceful crossing of this river. Hello guys, welcome back to Things in My World. My name is Jim and Beyond, and on this channel I share real life experiences from my village and everyday lifestyle and beautiful cultural moments from my environment that make my world unique. So here I am to explore each and every day. As you know, on this channel I cover real life experiences from my environment, and that's what's up, that's what is up, and that's what I'm always doing on this channel. Also, be sure to find content like local food and tradition, and also we'll be covering up culture and tradition and community experiences, that is. So always be sure to subscribe and hit that like button, and also don't forget the notification bell so that whenever I'm posting a new video you'll be notified. So right here I am at this place, and I think the locals have really suffered crossing this area because over there we just have a road that comes from the other side, and right here this is the bridge the locals have been using. And you know, wood, it depends the type of wood that you're using to construct your bridge, because at some point wood will take a, if it is that simple wood, not an hardwood or so on, it will take a very short time, and this bridge could be dangerous because softwood rots very fast. It decays, so to say. It begins decaying very fast. So the locals here have been using this bridge to cross to the other area. I believe animals and people also use the same bridge, and it's not so good, I'm telling you. It's not so good. You can see it's not so good, but at least for those that are passing here by on foot, I've been able to access the other area. And I think the government is now remembering these locals. A bridge will be built here so that it can be easy to access the other area and both sides of this area. And right here we have animals, and you know, on this channel we say we cover real life stories from from my environment. And these are the things in my world. These are the things in my environment. Yeah. Long ago, when I was a small boy, this is what I did for the longest. Grazing animals in the forest. I remember back then in my home, at the age of 10, we'll literally check the animals very early in the morning. I'd say like around 8. You take them to the forest. You graze over there for at least 10 good hours before you embark going back home. And seeing this reminds me that vividly, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, that was the life then when I was growing up. But now, being a big boy, I still do that. I still do that. I'm not dismissing the fact that I'm now a big boy, can't do that. I still do that. I still graze animals. Recently, if you watch my other channel, most of the time when I was in the home, I used to take animals to the forest. And it is something like it's mandatory when you're back, when I'm in my home, my parents' home. It is something on the routine. So looking at the boys here, I believe for them, they actually graze for some time and then go back home, have some lunch and so on. But for us, it used to be when you take them to the forest, it is like that until in the evening. And this meant that in the morning you really need to have heavy breakfast for you to be sustained until that time, because that used to take like 10 hours you in the forest with the animals. And you know the way goats are cheeky. they Goats are cheeky. They can run from one bush to another, and the sheep are very calm. They can stay in one area and just leave the rest of the group, and they will be taking a different direction. Cows are just sometimes nice, and yeah, they're in between, depending on how you look after them. Yes. So that's aside, guys. That's a story that I remembered growing up. So I believe the government is now remembering the locals of this area to actually construct a permanent bridge at this place so that the locals can access both areas without difficulties. You know, a vehicle can pass here? No vehicle can pass here. I think you've seen the bridge that we've been crossing on. It's only for those on foot. I don't think even a motorbike can actually pass there. So the locals have difficulties crossing here, even with their machines, the vehicles, the motorcycles and so on. So I believe it's going to be safe first and they'll be sorted. Yes, these are the things in my world, and whenever you come across such, usually I'm compelled to say something about it. Okay? Yeah, we're from this beautiful village, and I love that the locals at this spot, like along the river, have planted a lot of trees to actually control soil erosion, because they are very close to the river. And this is actually recommendable. It is recommended that you do a lot of tree planting along the river, but it depends on the type of the trees. At some point I see a mix of trees. We have eucalyptus and other different indigenous trees, but I recommend the indigenous because these are good trees that actually don't really take so much from the soils, and they can allow you to plant other crops around that area, so that the plants and the crops are the plants and the trees are coexisting in that same environment without having trouble. Okay, so it's beautiful afternoon from this beautiful village. We're still moving on, and I'll be showing you more whenever I will come across it. I believe if this village has any drunkard here, I believe they really have tough time crossing this kind of a bridge. This kind of bridge is really dangerous, and I'm even nervous to actually go about this because look at this. Only three trunks of trees laid and some few off-cuts put at this end, and I believe maybe there's someone that have really been taking the off-cuts from this bridge, and that's why it is the way it is. But look, I believe government maybe will do better if it constructed a permanent bridge of its own kind, so that things like this can be avoided. Or what is the voice of the locals about this? Are they okay crossing here? I think being in this level of, or this kind of a class has really put us in problems, because look, we have no voice. We have no voice on what can really be dangerous to our lives. I wish this got a solution, because when it rains over here, this river has large volumes of water that really flows until to the river banks. And I believe if any mistake made crossing at this point, when it is fully to the brim, it will be dangerous to a life. So let's try and cross the best way we can. But look, this one is almost actually going. This one is not in a good position. This one can easily break if all my cages were with me. This one can actually go down. You see, it is shaking. So the only tree that we have here is the one in the middle that can actually help the locals here cross peacefully. Yo, someone remember this, guys. Remember this village, so that we have a better bridge constructed. Because at this point, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And if you don't have your balance, like I said, if any one that has taken liquor, to say a drunkard, if they tried passing on this kind of a bridge, then I don't want to say it more. You know what could be next. But anyways, God forbid. These locals need a better bridge. Hope they are remembered with the leaders and so on. I know you, most of you in the comments will be like, do you have a government? Yes, we have a government. Do you have a leaders? Yes, we have the leaders. And you know what? What goes on? I'm telling you, if there was any individual that was in a position to build it, he will do it better than the government. But at this point, if that person was there to do it better, then he will be fought by the government, the same government that didn't do it better the way it deserves. So usually that's the thing, and these are real stories from my environment that are always touching. At some point they could be disturbing and so on. I'm at a very peaceful spot, the river flowing, leave aside the messy bridge, but at this point, Maraba, it is very cool, and that's why you can see me pausing, standing here at least, so that to have a cool breeze that's blowing and actually breathe in a fresh air. Very peaceful. Did you see the boy that just passed? Culture is something that is very important at some point, because different cultures bring up boys or girls or children, or the society is the upbringing. It's based on what the locals of that area believe in and so on. So being in this village, which is not my village, it's been so amazing that whenever a young boy or a young girl of that age that just passed here see you, the first thing they usually do is greet you, shikamo, and the reply usually is marahaba. So it's been a nice thing that they made it part of them. Like, it's a good culture whereby kids don't just pass by an elder to them, but without saying hello. You know, that's so nice. I love it. And it just crossed it because it just came about because that boy actually didn't pass. As much as he saw me recording, he still said hello. And this is something that is very impressive, or it's a good culture. It's any society should actually be in a position to put it into place. Yes, especially in the village. I know back in the towns things are different. Things are totally different, but here in the village where we are raising kids in that manner, I believe that's a good thing. And let's keep going on with such a thing. Congratulations to those that are trying to bring up their kids in a good way. So guys, thank you so much for watching. That was my time from Things in My World. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you did like it, if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about Yes. Until next time, bye bye.